Hey, my creative friends. My name is Shannon from shannonstudio.com. And we talk about a creative life. Hoping you're having a creative life and that you might get some tips if you hang around here, and that you might share with us as well so that we can all have better creative lives. So today is Sunday, and on Sunday I do tie in a little spirituality with creativity. And today is International Women's Day. So in light of International Women's Day, so first, what is International Women's Day? It's a day where I looked this up in 1913, which I didn't realize is that old. So in 1913 in Russia, during World War I, there was a march in Russia on March 8th. A march on March 8th. Okay. Hey, Erica. Which reminds me, Erica, I need to make sure those fabric collection things, because I was sending some to the other kids and I was like, all of a sudden I thought, oh, Erica has a good eye, creative eye. I've got to make sure she gets these too. So I'm sending you more little texts and emails. So anyways, International first one 1913, the second one 1914 in training. Hey Erica, tell Sam I'm on my video. Because Sam's trying to FaceTime me. So let's see. So I've lost control of everything here. No, not really. And that was dedicated. I gotta do this. Okay, that was dedicated to in Germany, 1914. Hey Trisha, 1914, and it was dedicated to women's right to vote. And in Germany, they didn't get it until 1918. So, and this International Women's Day wasn't recognized by the UN until 1977. That's a long time. That's a long time before they did it. So, what I also see is that the first states to give women the right to vote in the United States was Wyoming in 1869 and Utah in 1870. So we were ahead of the game compared to these other places. And so it's in 1918 Russia was their chant for their women's. Erica says a message. Sure, yes, send me more fabric. Yes, I will send you more fabric ideas, because I have to march through this revision of the collection, which I talked about for a couple of nights. So yeah, and but the collection, I'm super excited, which, I'm all for letting you feel your feelings. And when I got the news about the collection, I wasn't really upset. I think I just had to let out a little energy that, oh no, it's not done. Went through my little thing with scrolling through Instagram and just kind of letting myself go. But I am surprised at how I haven't, it's like I'm not mad. I mean, what they said was legit, so it's like I can't be mad. And how I am so excited to move it in a different direction, to just let go of what I previously thought and had, to go, okay, let's revisit this, because it needed to be revisited at the core. Okay, I digress because that's on my brain. But back to International Women's Day. Okay, so International Women's Day, and so I wanted to remind us of how women are looked at in the gospel of Jesus Christ, and how women are viewed, and so I wanted to, kind of swing to that spiritual side since we're on Sunday. So some of the words that jumped out at me right at first were women and telling women they were, or comparing things to evil, foolish, strange, silly women. I'm like, yeah, that happens. And then also some other words: gracious, virtuous, honored, elect. So obviously with women, there's both sides taken with scripture. Several of the things that I was going through as I was going through my scriptures was that women can vow vows, we can have our own agency to make vows with God. We can do that on our own accord. Another was that women were to be baptized too. It wasn't just men. It was women. As it was, it's not just a gender thing. Everyone's to be baptized, showing the importance of women's souls as much as men's souls. Another was that angels give the word and impart the word to women as well as men. I think growing up for me, I kind of had this attitude that it was, and maybe it was culturally put on as well, that women weren't entitled to revelation. They didn't have the word given to them as strongly as men. But I think as I started to read the scriptures for myself, understand for myself that that was a false misconception of my own. And so let's see what else. Chief women among the disciples, that went around with Paul and Silas and the 12 apostles, there were women there who were considered chief women among them. They were considered peers. They were considered peers by those around them and by Christ. Then let's see what else I have here. It's, it says, neither is the man without the woman, nor the woman without the man in the Lord. It's a joint thing. Both of us are created and are important to God. I think women have been given have not been given the credibility that we deserve, and not been given, we know people have viewed women negatively, acted on that, and it's been a problem. But it's never been something that the Lord has advocated. It's the way cultures and people look at it. So he's saying that you are both important, you are both needed, and if we swing all toward male dominance, that's wrong. If we swing all toward female dominance, that's wrong. There's a space in the middle. I think that is the correct way in order to look at men and women. Okay, another thing is that, this is amazing. I look at women's bodies, the fact that we have the power to create. So do men, but women carry the greatest, what's the word? It's an amazing thing. The greatest thing to be able to create a life. That's, if that doesn't tell you where your place is with God, that you become a co-creator in such a big way. I don't know if that tells me a great deal about how God feels about women. And let's see. So then I looked specifically about what Jesus did. Heals the Gentiles' daughter because of her faith. Now the Gentiles back then were like, nobody, you're unclean because you're a Gentile. You don't belong to the house of Israel. You don't belong to the chosen people, the Jews. And so they were looked on and not given. And even Christ said, certain blessings shouldn't go to them. Yet he stops and blesses the daughter of a Gentile woman because of her faith, recognizing that there are going to be people and groups of people that still are deserving of acts of God, of love of God, of blessings and miracles from God. Then, let's see, the woman taken in adultery. We know that story. We know that he didn't condemn her in a time when that was what was normal, where we condemn the woman and not the man. Hello. He doesn't condemn her. He says, don't do this anymore. He doesn't let people stone her. He doesn't stone her himself. And that's how he viewed it. It's like, don't do this anymore. Not kill her. That's a cultural shift. They do that even today in some countries where they place that burden on the women, and they still will attack a woman for that. Let's see. He goes to the well, and the Samaritan for water, and she's like, whoa, what are you asking me, a Samaritan, a Jew, asking a Samaritan for water? We have long-term hatred for each other that spans generations, and you're breaking that barrier. And not only breaking the barrier of a Jew Samaritan, but to a woman. That was Christ. It didn't seem to bother him. the woman who comes and washes his feet, her tears and ointment. Erica says, creating life is the closest thing to being a God in this mortal life, in my opinion. And the love we have for those children is a glimpse of our Savior's love for us. Oh, absolutely, Erica. Well said. Well said. That is, I think, as well. That is just the closest thing to being godlike. Absolutely. Thanks, Erica, for sharing that. The woman who washes Christ's feet with her tears and her an ointment, and the people around him are saying, well, if he were really, Jesus Christ, if he was really who he says he is, he would know that this woman's a sinner, because she's a sinner. So clearly she's a sinner, and yet Christ doesn't look at her with condemnation. He doesn't, and at a time and place and people who were of women, Christ chooses not to do that, to go against the cultural norm, to let people know where women stand. And then one of the most beautiful acts, I think, really shows how God felt about women is the resurrected Christ goes to Mary and shows Mary himself first. Now, you don't go and show somebody that act. I mean, because logically we go, well, the disciples should be the first ones. But he, again, went against the norm of what people would have thought. And he goes to a woman and lets a woman declare that miracle to the disciples. And again, the disciples react poorly. But the whole time Christ is trying to place women where they belong in society, in the gospel context. He doesn't vary from that. He continuously does things in his life and through his word that says women are of value. I don't think we have to look for a special day to say a little thought for today on International Women's Day, and how I view the way Christ looks at women and our value and worth to him, and in his kingdom on earth and in the kingdom to come. So tell me your thoughts, add your thoughts to see, and and tell me some of the stories I missed. I'm sure I missed some. So tell me the stories I missed or any insights you have to support this idea. If you don't support this idea or something, you can share that too, I guess. And we can look it up and we can study a little bit and look and learn. So